Alright, basically, I just wanted to come on this video. I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about today, like normal. I just wanted to get on here and start going and see what would happen. But I was kind of looking through some of my notes, and some of the things is that I've been thinking about is like we have to take responsibility for ourselves. Like no one's going, if we want to make a change, no one's going to do it for us. We have to do it. We have to make the change ourselves. We have to be the one to focus on and realize that it's not always going to be a direct line. It's going to be really messy sometimes. Like you're going to take two steps forward and one step back. But at the end of the day, you every time you take a step back, you just got to keep going forward, not be too hard on yourself, and just keep going. So I wrote down one of these things like you can't half-ass it and expect results. Like you have to be all in. You got to go for it. Yeah, I mean, I know it's uncomfortable. I have a hard time sometimes with uncomfortable action myself, and I feel like that's part of also what this video is going to be about too, is because we're never going to get comfortable with anything unless we do something. And that's the thing is sometimes is it's not really the fear, it's because the body's not used to it, so it doesn't want us to do it because we're afraid. And so maybe it is the fear. I kind of just contradicted myself there, I think. So, but I think it's a combination of the fear and the uncomfortableness because we've never done it before. But the thing is most people, mostly everything in life, the first time you do something, it's uncomfortable until you get used to doing it. But you have to learn how to extend yourself and do something more if you want more. I mean, if you're fine with where you're at and you don't want to change, that's cool too. I get that. But if you feel like you want more, then you got to do something different because obviously what we've done, or what I know what I've done to this point, has got me to where I'm at. But if I want to go somewhere else, I have to make the decision, go all in, make the commitment, and do it with conviction. And no matter what happens, keep going. I mean, things are going to get messed up from time to time. It just happens. It's part of the process. Failure happens. It's just that we've been so taught in our lives that failure is like shameful, guilt, regret, and or that we should be like ostracized for it. And everybody's like, you shouldn't have messed that up. And it's like, well, sometimes we do. We're human beings. We make mistakes. No one's perfect. It's never going to be perfect all the time. You can strive to have perfect moments. You can strive to do things maybe, but I was reading something the other day where over the weekend I was at a seminar on Zoom, and uh, and that's the thing is they're saying that perfection is the lowest standard because it's just no one's perfect. It's unattainable. So it's like one of the worst standards because you shouldn't strive for it. You should strive to be better than you were. You should strive to make progress every day. You should strive to be better than you used to be, like Wayne Dyer used to say. And one of my favorite quotes is, I'm not perfect, but I'm better than I used to be. But that's all we can strive to do. And the only person you should be in competition with is the person you were yesterday. And if you focus on getting better and being trying to be better than the person you were yesterday, you're going to eventually get better no matter what. So, but again, the comfort zone, like the saying goes, the comfort zone's a nice place to live, but nothing really grows there. So, and again too, like I've also put, have to stop wasting time doing things that you shouldn't. Sometimes we get so focused on what I should do, what I should do, what I should do. Maybe you should start looking at some of the stuff you shouldn't do. I know that when I first started meditating, I cut out some of the stuff I was watching that just wasn't really important to me. I was just watching it because I was being lazy and didn't want to do it. So I was like, all right, instead of watching extra sports centers, sometimes I'd watch Sports Center two or three times in a row after I got home from work. Well, what good's the second and third time, you know? But just because I was lazy. So I was like, all right, I'll just cut out the sports centers, go to bed an hour, hour or two early, get up an hour before I got to go to work and start to meditate. And then I started doing that and it just kind of started working out. We all have more time than we say we do. There's things that we waste time on. I know there is. I know it because I used to do it too, and I still do it. There's times where I get home from work and say I'm going to take a break and then get on here and do something, or get over here and like read or write or whatever, and then next thing you know, 3 hours later, I'm still not doing anything. So again, we all waste time. We're all guilty of it. It happens. There's nothing wrong with it. It happens. You just got to make the conviction, take to make a better choice and get up and go. Like sometimes when I'm doing that, then I'll be like, all right, I just got to get up and get over here. And then I come over here and sit down. And then next thing you know, I'm doing some stuff. So again, it's that getting that first action, that uncomfortable, because when your body is like, oh, I just want to sit here and not do anything. And it's like, no, you have to do something. It's like Tony always says when he jumps in his cold water every morning, and there's not one time that he actually wants to do it, but he's trained his brain to say, when I say go, we go. And that's what I'm saying. When you just got to get something done, whether you feel like doing it or not, because sometimes it's that fear, it's that ego, it's that thing trying to keep you where you're at. Because sometimes the ego feels like if you start to do something different or you want to become someone else, then it's going to lose control over your life. When really you need the ego to give you that like what's the word I'm looking for, motivation to do something. Or but at the same time, you got to know when to say, listen, man, we need to do what we need to do and shut the hell up. So all right, what else do I got? And then you have to create the identity that will create what you want. Like you have, like, if you want to model somebody that's already got the results that you're looking to get, well then you look at the things and the behaviors and the traits and all the stuff that that person like represents, because we all have those things in ourselves too. We just sometimes feel like we don't. But if we envy, maybe envy kind of, or we look up to somebody that has those traits that we're looking for, is because we already have them inside of us. It might just be buried under mounds of not thinking we do, mounds of, experiences in the past that we didn't feel comfortable with, or, failures in the past when we didn't know that failure is part of the process. It's not the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Failure is just, it's something that needs to happen. Failure is part of growth. It's, learn from your mistakes and use them as the stepping stones to success, because we all go through failure. How many times do you see a sports team fail 2, 3 years in a row and then win the championship? It happens all the time. University of Virginia lost to a 16 seed, only one ever, and then the next year they came back and won the championship. So they probably use that as motivation to say, hey, we got this. So again, anything in your life, use that as motivation, man. I mean, at least try it. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm guilty of it. I was guilty for a long time, because you know what? I I used it as a reason not to do anything because I didn't want to fail. Well, then all of a sudden I heard that saying, failure is part of the process. It was like, wow. And so it's like little things here and there that you hear that just kind of make you see something in a different way. And that definitely was one of the ones that you got to learn to embrace failure and use it and turn it around and use it to your advantage, you know? So, and always just try new activities, new hobbies, new all that stuff. And then who knows, if you try something new, maybe it's something that you really become passionate about. But if you never try it, you'll never know. It's like it's that saying goes, it's better to have tried and failed than to not tried at all, because you've already failed. And even if you try and fail, well, like I said, it's something you do and, grow from. Practice public speaking. Like this, the more I do this, the more I get comfortable with it. But in the beginning, I was so uncomfortable. I was waiting for that perfect day when I'm going to feel great about doing all this, when I'm going to feel perfect. And then it never came, so I didn't do it for years. I mean, it took me 2 or 3 years to finally get on here and do this after I started like studying all the stuff that I've been studying. It started kind of vaguely during the pandemic, and then I kind of slowly built it up little by little, getting this office set up. And then finally I mustered up the courage to say, hey, screw it. I got to see what I can do. And I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you know who Matthew McConaughey is, but his book Green Lights, that's what he talks about. One of his biggest things is He wants to know if he can do something. Whether, he's like, I just got to know. And that's the thing, is you just got to know. Unless you try it, you'll never know. And that's the thing, is, why not give it a shot and see what happens? If it doesn't work, oh well, try something different. And then keep doing that until you figure out what it is you like. Okay. And then again, too, we have to create the habits that will change this concept, like your identity and all this stuff. And that's the thing, like I was talking about in the other video, just try something. And any like I started off with journaling every day, and then questions every day, and then meditation, and then they keep stacking on each other and on each other and on each other. And eventually here I'm going to be doing a study where I'm going to be meditating more and seeing what happens. Because again, meditation changes your neural connections, man. It changes that process. There's so much benefits to it. I wish they would teach it when we were younger. I think we should have it in homeroom for 10 minutes. It'd probably make everybody's day go a hell of a lot better, because meditation helps calm the mind, slows the body down. And I'll tell you, it's hard to do in the beginning. At least most of the people, like I had a hard time in the beginning, but once I got used to it, once you settle down, it like totally changed the way that you feel. Like there's times where I would just do meditation, like I'd be upset or mad or whatever, and then I'd meditate, and the next thing you know, I'm just like, huh. It helps you handle situations. It helps you handle stress better. It helps you relieve stress better. It slows down your heart rate. It slows down your blood pressure. It slows down your stress hormone release. There's so many good things that meditation does that, it totally changes your like physiology too. Like I know after the first 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, all of a sudden I just feel like a calmness come over my body, and then I'm like, yes, I'm finally there. And then you get to meditate for however much longer you want to do. I usually do anywhere from 20 to a half hour to 40, depending on how I'm feeling and how much time I got. But again, at the end of the day, if I miss it, I just feel a little bit off the rest of the day. So it's definitely something that's, good and helps you. So start creating, instead of consuming, get rid of the comfort, creating a life and help people. So yeah, and then on here too, mindfulness and reflection, and that's the thing with the reflection too, is sometimes like when I was at the Chopra Center, when I was first learning how to meditate, they always used like a pond as the thing. Like the deeper you get, the more stuff that you have from like childhood or patterns you developed from youth and stuff by watching people or just anything. That's what happens. Is we create patterns of behavior and the ways we should be from our peers, our parents, our teachers, like all the people around us, society always tells us, trying to influence us on what we should be doing. So sometimes you develop patterns and then you behave from, and then you act from them and have those behaviors, and you don't even realize you're doing it. And sometimes they're like in the unconscious mind, they're programmed, and you've been programmed. And then meditation helps you bridge that gap between the conscious mind, what I'm thinking and saying right now, and some of the patterns that I used to have, or the fears or doubts or beliefs that maybe may not be serving me anymore, that maybe need to be changed. But I feel like meditation is the tool to get to the bottom of that pond, or dig in the unconscious mind and find those beliefs that are worth changing. So, and if we don't meditate, we may not have those things come up, because I think, like I said before, there's times where I'm meditating, and then all of a sudden I have a memory from the past, and then I'm able to process it and then let it go. And I feel like the unconscious mind has a bunch of those patterns and stuff from when we were younger that we need to realize have bubble up to the surface. And meditation's the tool. What if that what if what if meditation's the key to unlocking your soul or whatever's inside of you and letting it out? I remember I read the Book of Five Rings. Yeah, it was written by the greatest Japanese samurai in history a long time ago, and there was a part where it talked about, if you open yourself up to an idea, then the universe will guide you to the solutions. It'll guide you to what it is you need to learn. But if you don't, if you'll put the dam up. Like basically, if you don't believe, or you don't even think it's possible, then the universe is like, okay, we got you. We won't show you the information. But if I say, well, maybe there is something to that, because like I read the Celestine Prophecy a long time ago too, and I read it, and I was like, it sounds nice, but I don't really know, because I didn't really believe in anything back then. That was a long time ago. It was when I was like probably 22, 23, so years ago. But like I was like, it sounds good because it talks about like spiritual qualities that we all grasp, or like insights to life that we all grasp sequentially if we like pay attention to it. And then like there's this story where this guy like is in Peru, and he's like going around, and each person he meets like kind of teaches him these, you know, insights, and he gains them. So I don't even remember where I was going with that. But so, oh yeah, the possibility. So yeah, so it sounded good. It sounded like awesome. And I was like, okay, well, you know, maybe that sounds good. And then like, you know, and I kind of thought it sounded nice. And then all of a sudden, a couple years later, I just happened to be out, you know, uh, I don't know, we're somewhere at a club or somewhere, and I just all of a sudden, I don't know, for some reason I was just like walked up to this random dude and was like, "Hey man, have you ever read the Celestine Prophecy?" He's like, "Hell yeah, it's one of my favorite books." And then we just started going off about the like of it, and we were like shaking hands, and we had this great conversation for like 15, 20 minutes about the book. And in the book it says you meet certain people on your journey that will like help like these insights. And I was like, well, okay, maybe the book is right. And but it was funny because he was a DJ, and like he gave me his card. And he's like, if you ever want to come to a show, you know, let me know. Give me a call. Oh yeah, I lost the card, so I've never seen him again. But at least I got what I needed out of it, which was the, you know, beginning of my journey, a spiritual journey, and that's really made me start to believe that maybe everything does happen for a reason, and maybe there is a plan, or maybe it isn't random sometimes when you run into people, that sometimes you just, you know, got to pay attention and like start focusing on that stuff. So, but yeah, anyway, so so the Book of Five Rings says that when you open yourself up to that idea, think you can, think you can't, either way you're right, think you can, then all of a sudden the universe will show you what it is you need to learn and guide you to the answers that you seek. And like again, ask and you shall receive. So like there's so much, the universe has so much knowledge, the universe has so much potential, and we are connected to it. We all live within it, but we have to do the things, the practices to actually tap into the source resources that the universe has. And it's infinite. And like meditation just helps you become one with it. You know, you slow yourself down and just kind of be in the moment. Like Eckhart Tolle talks about it, the power of now. Like being in this moment. I can't control anything that's outside of this room right now. All I can control is my own effort of what I'm doing, what I'm saying, how I'm focusing on this, some of the stuff that's just flowing through me right now. You know, but if I wasn't getting on here and relaxing into this moment, then I wouldn't be able to do it ever. So again, it's like we got to find those things that uh, are be in the moment that we're in right now, because if we focus on what it is we're doing right now with 100% and block everything else, then we're able to do stuff at such a higher level. It's just hard to do sometimes because the mind goes crazy so much. So that's why I believe meditation helps, because it helps you focus into this moment. So, all right, well that's most of them. Do I got any left? No, daily. Well, I guess daily challenges is good too, because like I was saying before, like I journal every day. I have to turn my journal into my coach every day, and yeah, it helps me. It helps keep me like doing stuff, because at least I do one thing a day. And that's the thing too, is like I was saying in the other video, just do one small thing a day, and then all of a sudden one day, like you'll do small, 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 big, small, big, small, small, small. But you're always stacking and moving towards something, and that's why it's good to do some at least something every day, and then it'll stack and build, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're at the top of the mountain. So again, Uh, I don't even know where all that came from, man. Sometimes I just get on here and go off in tangents in different directions, and that's why I kind of like to get on here and do it so I can see where I go and see what happens. So, but basically, it you have to be convicted, you have to want to change, and you have to take responsibility for it. And we can all do it. Realize that it's not perfect. Get out of your comfort zone, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. Find something that you love, you're passionate about, or whatever it is that like lights you up, big or small, and just do it. Try something new every day. Try, or here and there. Go to one place a year that you never been before. Try things you've never done just to see if you can do it. And then if you can't, well then try again. And if it gets to the point, well then try something else. But always try to be in the present moment and realize that we are capable of far more than we believe. We just have to be in this moment. Let go of the past. Don't worry too much about the future. Set an aim for it and just do the best you can every day and see where your progress goes and see what happens. So that's my message for the day. Like and subscribe, subscribe, and if you got any questions ever, comments, leave them. I'll always answer them. And yeah, have a good day.